Hello, I'm Robin Vincent and welcome to the Molten Music Monthly for March 2016. Now, I'm sorry, it's been ages, it's late, I've been extraordinarily busy doing stuff and getting myself stuck into things. I mean, I'm a mess, I'm all over the place, I don't even have a decent shirt on, but I just wanted to record one of these as soon as I could because time is running on and, you know, there's expectations. I've got a reputation to maintain. So, right, let's get on with it. So what are we doing this month? We're going to talk about MySpace and worry about whether SoundCloud's ever going to make any money. We've got proper Thunderbolt support in Windows and my first impression of the Focusrite Clarett. We go strangely Gothic with Dronar, and weirdly cinematic with Morphestra 2. That's a bit of a mouthful. We go all gooey inside Nirvana. My pronunciation's all, can't even speak today. Anyway, we go all gooey with Nirvana. God damn it. I think I'm just out of my mind. Okay, we go all gooey with Nirvana headphones or something. I'll get to it. It'll make more sense in a minute. And we check out T7, which is the latest version of Tracktion from Tracktion Corporation, as they're now known. But first, a little bit about the Surface Pro 4. It's been a little bit too long since my last Surface Pro 4 video. I did a number of videos all about setting it up for music, doing the tweaking, and then we hit this problem with ASIO for All, which I grabbed with both hands and forced into submission and produced a nice little video telling you how to get around all of that kind of nightmare. But since then, I've been testing out various bits of software and hardware with it, and it's not gone particularly smooth. So sort of testing and retesting and checking and tweaking and retesting, it takes just an awful lot of time. And when I have other things to do and a day job and kids and stuff, it's just taking much longer than I'd hoped. However, I am very optimistic that I'm going to get through all of these little troubles and various niggles that I'm having with the Surface Pro 4. But suffice to say that it hasn't been anywhere near as smooth as it was with the Surface Pro 3. Is it time to panic? No, I don't think so. I'm still working on it. Just got to give me a little bit more time, another week or two, and I should have the bugger nailed. I'm not sure that's very nice. So, MySpace then. I used to have a MySpace page. Did you used to have a MySpace page? I don't really remember what it was all about. It seemed to be about this kind of horrible fonts and colour sort of mess on the screen where basically you sort of hung out hoping that a girl would talk to you, which is kind of like life anyway, isn't it? Anyway, they've been in the news for all the wrong reasons. They've been bought by Time Incorporated, but they were kind of just happened to be a bit of a bundle of other stuff. They basically bought user data, and that included MySpace. Oh, somebody at the door. So anyway, I logged into my account, and it just looks like iTunes or Spotify. I don't even know what it's about anymore. Do people still use it? Do people still interact? I don't have any idea. I mean, it was such a thing. It's kind of weird how quickly these things fall away. I mean, I guess for me, I became less interested in talking about the same music in the same sort of group and tribe and being all kind of indie and rock and stuff. And actually, I wanted to talk to other people who weren't into that. And so Facebook kind of came in and provided that platform where you could share pictures with your mum and talk about other things with people and work colleagues and other people that you knew that wasn't just about being angst and indie and crazy on the internet. So maybe it's just that we grew up. It's a bit of a shame, isn't it, really? Now, I care a lot more about SoundCloud. It's actually an extraordinarily useful service. Back when I was first making websites, you know, in that dark ages of a few years ago, it was really hard to put music up and make it stream. You were fussing around with QuickTime and Windows Media Player and trying to embed stuff, and it was just hard work. And then discovering SoundCloud, you could upload your track, you could download a widget, slap it on your website, and it would play. I mean, glorious way of delivering your music from your website to your legions of fans, or, you know, at least your mum. And it was great. I mean, it was generally it felt really open source and groovy. It felt like this was us. This is us, the musicians. We're putting our own music up out there, and it's us that decides that it's free and you can stream it and you can listen to it and you can tell us how wonderful you are. It was this sort of democratic, awesome coming together of creativity and minds and music and awesomeness. And it was all free and fabulous. But then, of course, they weren't making any money. They're not making any money. They're so cool and groovy that they pay all their staff tons of money and yet aren't actually generating a revenue. Oh. So something has to happen. And they've signed contracts with people and all sorts of things that are starting to demand that they make money. And I heard just yesterday that they are now going to move to a subscription-only service. I mean, if you look at the subscription options at the moment, they're not that helpful. I mean, I don't want analytics. I don't need more than 3 hours of uploaded music. You know, those are the sort of things that the premium subscriptions offer. I just want to put a few tunes up and have them play back. And I think that's what the majority of people want to do. So if you're turning that into a subscription service, I think you're just going to hemorrhage all your users. They're just going to go and do something else, and something will come along which will replace it. That's the thing. I mean, I think there's another way. I don't think subscription works for this kind of thing. It's not as if, you know, if I'm taking myself as a very typical musician, I don't know if I am, who knows, who cares? But from my point of view, I just want to upload a tune once in a while. My output is not prolific. I'm not generating song after song after song. And it's also been a great place where I can archive stuff. So I find an old song or a demo somewhere and I slap it up on SoundCloud just for fun, just so it can be heard. It could be discovered and someone could enjoy listening to it. And I enjoy seeing it up there. So it's not, for me, commercial. I mean, I can put up songs so that people can then listen to that and then buy the album, which never happens, but the potential is there, of course. So if I'm doing something commercial, then surely I should pay for that. Well, yeah, maybe I should, but I think there's a better way than subscription. I think if SoundCloud were to charge per upload, then actually that might be something we could all work with. Then if it was, say, 50 cents, maybe even $1 to upload a tune, I'd do that. I'd pay that. They've got 175 million users who are not paying them anything. I think a large chunk of those would pay $1 to upload their tunes. Or maybe they need an amnesty on the existing library, and if we all pay $1 to keep our existing tunes on the site, I think most of us would go for that as well. Not a subscription. I don't want to pay £10 a month for something I'm not ever going to use much. You know, I think they need more creative thinking. So that's my idea, SoundCloud. If you're out there listening, just charge us $1. Call it $1 and we'll all pay it and you'll be back in the black in no time. Right, in the glamorous world of interconnections, ports and cables, we have Thunderbolt 3. Or is it USB 3.1? Nobody seems to know. Anyway, we have this new port, is a little thing, and it's USB 3.1 and it's Thunderbolt. The problem is nobody knows which one it is. What am I talking about? I don't really know, and that's part of the problem. Anyway, we have this new port, which is a reversible USB type cable, which works with what's called USB 3.1, and it can also be Thunderbolt 3, and they're using the same port. However, what it actually is depends on the manufacturer and what they've implemented behind that port. So if you buy a motherboard that's got USB 3.1 on it, it may also be Thunderbolt, but it may not. See where all this confusion can be. Why don't we just have a port that does everything, or different ports for different things like we have up to now? No, we want to use the same port and the same cables for something which may or may not be the same. Anyway, Windows now supports Thunderbolt audio, which is awesome. That means that you can hot plug a Thunderbolt interface into Windows and it will properly reassign all the resources and sort that out. And it will also offer all the low latency business and all that kind of stuff, which means that manufacturers can finally start releasing Windows drivers for their Thunderbolt interfaces, which are going to work and be great, which is awesome, provided that you of course have this Thunderbolt port, which you may or may not have. And you never get a cable in the box. No Thunderbolt thing ever comes with a cable in box. Cables are 20 quid a pop. That's just nonsense. And it's 20 quid usually to Apple, because they seem to be the ones producing all the cables. I get the feeling I'm just kind of ranting nonsense this month. Anyway, talking of Thunderbolt, I got the opportunity to beta test a Clarett, a Focusrite Clarett, sticking with their palette of mostly red stuff. We have the Clarett range of Thunderbolt interfaces. Now that runs on Thunderbolt 1, it's not fussed with Thunderbolt 3, so any old Thunderbolt port will work. But I have the beta drivers and I've tested them out, and it's actually all looking pretty good. I plan to do a full review on the box as soon as they have release-ready drivers. Up until then, you've got to give them a chance to get the whole thing right. But Focusrite are not renowned for the speed of their audio drivers, and so this is running at 32 samples really quite brilliantly in most cases. So yeah, this is a real turn up for the books. I mean, the box itself is pretty impressive. It feels expensive. It is expensive. You know, Thunderbolt adds a premium apparently, but it's $4.99 for the 2-in-out thing, which seems quite a lot. But apparently the quality of the stuff inside is awesome, and I will be looking at that very soon. Dronar. Now this is something from Gothic Instruments, which took my eye or ear, I don't know, but there's a lot of it about this kind of cinematic, wrangling, textured, evolving, stupefying, atmospheric, thundering stuff. It's all over the place. Everyone is releasing one, and this is one by a company called Gothic Instruments, and it's got a really sort of interesting engine in Contact, where it kind of takes all these sound sources and moves them about, and you have all this stuff going on. Yeah, well, you need to go to the website really and hear some sound examples, but it looks pretty cool enough that I actually accidentally, if anybody's listening, I actually bought a copy. And it was only 50 quid, and I made the company pay because it's for company use or something. Essentially, it comes with 16 gigabytes of source material, arpeggiators, modulators, LFOs, just tells you all the stuff about. And bosh, you've created some kind of cinematic theme. It's created by Dan Graham and Adam Hanley, who both have quite a history in creating weirdo atmospheric sounds for sample libraries and stuff like that, and also Hollywood trailers. So, you know, if you need big thumping atmospheric stuff, then this is definitely worth checking out. Or if 16 gigs just really doesn't cut it for you, then check out Sample Logic's Morphestra. Morphestra 2. For some more cinematic, twisting, analogy, evolving, organic, atmospheric, thumping, pumping, seat rattling, popcorn bouncing nonsense. It's another Contact instrument. It's got tons of parameters and LFOs. You can mix 4 sort of different sound sources and together with 8 different other things and squidge them and morph through those and giggle through that, and then it chomps up and it splits apart and then it goes tickle tickle and yeah, you get the idea. So Morphestra 2 is the latest in a long line of massive cinematic style things. I mean, it's something that I want to do a proper review on, because I kind of get the feeling ever since Omnisphere really that some of these sample libraries are just too huge. They kind of like auto-generate music for film without you really having to do anything. And I wonder whether they're just too huge to sit in any kind of mix. How can you add anything to it if it's already providing the entire kind of bedrock of your soundtrack? I'm not sure. I want to look into that a lot deeper. I want to get under the skin and try to see what it's like to work with these kind of sample libraries. So that's something I'm going to try to do. Will I find the time? Who the hell knows? But it's a nice idea. But some of the sound examples on the Sample Logic website are amazing, and this Morphestra 2 thing seems to be extraordinary if you're into that kind of thing. So go and check it out. But at $4.99, it's slightly, you know, it's 10 times the price of Dronar. Is it 10 times as good? I don't know. Another reason to do a review, I think. So what we really need then is a pair of headphones that can simultaneously stimulate our feel-good nerves in sync with music to give us an enhanced, pleasurable listening experience. Well, that's what Nirvana headphones are planning on doing. Nirvana, I don't know. It's about generating neurotransmitters such as dopamine, serotonin and oxytocin that are responsible for enhanced mood and feelings of well-being. So it's not really about sexiness, it's more about making us feel nice and a little bit smiley. You've kind of got to wonder that, isn't that the purpose of music in the first place? Anyway, it works by using this little sort of fag packet sized box into which you plug your music and the headphones, and it analyzes the music and produces triggers that are then squirted into your left ear via their special headphones that apparently hit this nerve that goes down your back, and then it floods your system with these lovely sensations. I mean, what's not to like about that? It also has a built-in microphone, so you can just take sound from your general environment and use that to sort of zen your way through life, I suppose, feeling on a slight legal high. I mean, the only thing that concerns me is that once you've put these earbuds in, would you ever want to take them out? Would listening to music normally seem sort of dull and lifeless in comparison? And actually, you need to have those in so that you're constantly stimulated and feeling happy, even when listening to Radiohead. I mean, who knows, but it sounds like the sort of thing that I'd really like to try. Apparently, it's going to be out anytime now for about $299. It could be snake oil, or it could completely change the world as we know it. Tracktion Corporation have released a new version of their well-regarded door called T7. Tracktion sort of invented the single screen door that's sort of been copied by Studio One and Sonar, and most others are sort of heading that way, where you have all the information on the one screen that then sort of just provide you with everything that you need without having to go through multiple cascading windows like you do in Cubase or Pro Tools. Version 7 brings a bit of a rewrite, and they've sort of made the windows more dynamic so that stuff folds out of the way when you don't really need it, giving you much more space on your screen to work. It's been around a long time, but it's recently gone through this sort of rebirth, and with their new tagline of being Tracktion Corporation. It's quite exciting. They've put a lot of work into this rewrite, and I have a copy, and I mean to do a full review of it very soon. It's next on my list. It's the next thing I'm going to do as soon as I get the chance. So that'll do for now, I think. I'm planning to do a lot more reviews on this channel as soon as I can. I mean, it's quite heavy stuff. Often it takes a couple of weeks to get really into a piece of software and then to start making the video on it and to produce all of that. So it takes a big chunk of time, but I really want to start doing more of that because I really enjoy it, and they seem to be really popular on the channel. It's a good thing. Good information is hard to come by. So often reviews of stuff are like a couple of paragraphs. I mean, what are you going to learn in that? You need to see something being used. You need to follow someone's journey into working out how this software works and what it can bring to the table and what it can help us with creatively and what it throws in the way and makes you fall over. So that's what I want to do. I'm going to start doing more of that. So first up I have Tracktion T7, as I said, and also their Biotech synth, which looks really interesting. I'm going to have a bit of a play with that. Logic Keyboard have sent me their Presonus Studio One shortcut keyboard in response to my review on the Editor's Keys one. So that's going to be interesting, a bit of a head-to-head there. I want to do Dronar and Morphestra too, if I can. I'm going to try and get stuck into that. But it all depends if I can blag myself a copy, really. And I also have the Clarett, of course, waiting for some real drivers. And do stay tuned for the latest in audio adventures into the Surface Pro 4. I do have good stuff on that coming very soon. I've just got to work it all out and maybe get some sleep. And I'll leave you with French DJ Vinny Lourd's son and his amazing Scratchocaster. And in the meantime, go make some tunes.